This is your life now. This is your life now. This is your life now. This is your life now.
This peed in my basement. This peed in my basement. This peed in my basement.
This is your life now. 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 This is your life now.
Spread your cheeks and just go.
This is your life now. This is your life now. This is your life now.
No, Daddy, no.
This is your life now. This is your life now.
Try to relax your anus.
This is your life now. This is your life now. This is your life now.
Breasts.
This is your life now. This is your life now. This is your life now.
Breasts. Breasts. Breasts.
This is your life now.
Hand jobs all around. 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 Hand jobs all around.
Cucumbers. Cucumbers.
Hand jobs all around.
Cucumbers.
Hand jobs all around. Hand jobs all around. Hand jobs all around. Hand jobs all around.
Wash your balls.
Hand jobs all around.
This is your life now.
Cucumbers. Cucumbers.
Yeah!
Cucumbers.
Yeah!
Cucumbers. 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 Cucumbers.
Yeah! Yeah!
Cucumbers.
Try to relax your anus.
Breastfeed it. 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 Breastfeed it.
Breasts.
This is your life now. 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 This is your life now.
No, Daddy, no. Oh, the camera's out.
This is your life now. This is your life. This is your life. This is your life now.
I have no idea what the fuck I was doing. So here is some good news. No, I am not going back to doing daily news on my main channel. Hell no, I don't want to. I'm tired of playing the YouTube game in terms of what I can talk about, what I can't talk about. But bigger projects, my editor is going to work with me on them. That's it. You know, all the conspiracy. Yeah, he hates me so much that he decided, like, hey, Rich, we should work together on the bigger projects. And people are still trying to make it. Well, there's two things they're trying to do. They're trying to say I flip-flop. I didn't flip-flop. I ain't doing daily news anymore. It's over. Unless, like I said, like the PS5 Pro magically appears tomorrow. I would talk about that. But if it ain't on that level, like I said to you, if Bill Gates and Bobby Kotick aren't streaking down a major highway slapping each other on the ass, I ain't talking about it. It's over. Like, that wasn't me flip-flopping. It's done. It's done. It is positively done. But we have some exciting news. See, Jeremy Hambley is a very, very sensitive man. Yes, no, the Switch Pro rumors are dead. Feels good in the hole. Oh, he definitely is. So, we're going to have some Twitter fun. If my Face ID will fucking work and make sure I didn't get a serious message from Betty. But knowing it's probably Google Fish sending me, probably. Yep, it's Google Fish sending me a picture of a naked man with protruding nipples. The stream has started. So, yeah, I like drama. Drama's fun. And for everyone who tells me to stay in my lane, you know what I'm going to tell you? To stay in your lane and eat a fucking dick. I have been talking about this shit forever. If you don't like it, don't watch me. The fact that if you've been watching me for more than like 2 months and you don't know that, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, hand jobs all around. Anyway, so before we get to the 500 mark, let me get the Def Noodles documentary up by Nicholas Diorio. Def Noodles, by the way, is coming on at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow. So I'm going to be asking him plenty of questions. Hand jobs for your ass. How does one hand... Oh, I guess I could fist you.
Okay, bye.
Def Noodles, I don't even... Is he like a... I gotta watch a bunch of his shit tonight. I'm gonna have to get stoned and watch his shit. I'm actually... It wasn't just like, oh, Rich, you're clout chasing. No, I'm curious to find out what the fuck this guy is even about. So I basically just, without knowing anything about him, I was just like, yo, come on the stream. Come talk about shit. And I went... And I DM'd Augie, like, yo, what's up with this dude, so I could find out some stuff. Just so I'm like, I'm not going to attack him. I wouldn't attack the quartering if he came on. I would ask him questions that would make him...
I just peed in my basement.
Wouldn't attack him. Thank you, Drywall. Thank you. So, who is messaging me video? Is this Google Fish? Ah! Tipster. Tipster, good call. He's probably working, though. I know he works a day job. Good call, man. Good call. Yo, are you free around 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow? Question mark. I know it was on accident, Google Fish. I don't care. It's not a big deal. I thought you were going to, like, video message me and fart in my ear. You should watch the videos that Chris the Narc did on Def Noodles. Okay. I have some interesting stuff going on with Chris the Narc, Camelot, and Boogie. I will just say that for now. You were right when you told me to keep an eye on the right Joy-Con. Yesterday at work, the damn thing wouldn't connect to my Switch in handheld mode for 5 minutes. It wouldn't play the little blue swipe when you put it back on. Yeah, there's something else. It shouldn't have been completely dead. I had a feeling. It shouldn't have been completely dead. That was weird. Did you like my food court content today? That was quality. Of course, everyone's saying I'm flip-flopping, even though I explicitly said I'm not doing news. Like, but all I was saying is that my editor has like, hey, man, why don't we just do the big projects together? Now, there's a couple of them, like the chicken sandwich thing from DSP. It would be too much back and forth. It's not that my editor is not talented enough to handle it. It's just that, like, I'm going to be piecemealing that together as I go. Because I'm like, oh, wait, I should look at this video and put it in there. I should look at this and put it in there. I should talk about the time where he made it like that DSP was naked in the snow looking for an Amazon package and made a big conspiracy theory about it. I'm going to put that in. Like, my editor's not a psychic, you know? Yes, Steph is coming on. Well, I messaged him. He said he's coming on at 1 p.m. EDT. I said tomorrow I would give him a Zoom link. I don't know the guy. Would he bail? I don't know. Would he bail? I don't know the guy. I know the quartering. The quartering would absolutely pull at 20 minutes. Anyway, so let me go show you the harmless. Of course, I can't spell Twitter right now. No, I'm not stoned in the slightest, by the way. I'm not agitated. I mean, I get a DM coming in. Yeah, he's going to be at Def Noodles is coming on the show. He would be a good moderator, man. I wonder if I should... When would you be free? You would be a good moderator. He wrote back, oh boy. Anyway, so let me show you some fun. Jordan's made it to the tipster. He would be a good moderator, I think. Anyway, so let me shrink my screen. I don't need to shrink my penis. It is already small enough. Oh, shit. Self-roast for the win. All right, I don't want to, out of respect for the person, not show a DM real quick. Let me see what he says. Oh, I guarantee you that if you tell me hi, I'm moderating, he will cancel. Okay. All right. So that we are off to a good start. I am going into this all by myself. That's fine, though. That's fine. Anyway. So let's... I'll continue, but as for battery, it's been doing... There's something wrong with that thing, bro. I'm just letting you know. I don't know. I don't know this guy. Maybe he will pull 20 minutes on me. So this is fun. Anyway, so this is what it started with. Didn't tag him because Broogie wrote, "This is my life now." What does that make you think of?
This is your life now.
Harmless motherfucking, like my editor even made, because we're doing like, what's up? Not your typical mom. See, I remember this time. I should see what he's... What are you doing now? You free for 15 minutes to tell your... Oh, I guess I'm showing his DMs. I'm an idiot. Oops. I'm an asshole.
Breasts.
Okay. Anyway, so this is what it started with. Completely, like, innocuous. Didn't tag Jeremy. Wasn't starting a fight with him. You, Rich, you, sir, have ruined my life. Because of you, I love Spindrift and Power Wash Simulator. Oh, dude, this shit is banging. Pretty idiot. It's amazing. You kidding me? Power Wash Simulator is great shit. There's a couple, like, the skate part's pissing me off, though. The skate park is pissing me off because it says I have the whole fucking thing clean. And there's like, it says, oh, 3 walls. Like you're 99% done, but 3 fucking walls. And I don't see any dirt anywhere. Polar Seltzer's amazing too. Anyway, so we're sitting here staring at Boogie's dogs go back and forth.
And I like
here.
The majority of my life is just being a puppy bed. And I like it. It's good. It's good to be a puppy bed. The majority of my life is...
Cute dogs, cute video. I just wrote this because he wrote, "This is my life now."
This is your life now.
That's why. Anyway. I really broke you, hey? Like, I seriously think that Jeremy thinks I'm pivoting my content because of him. It's incredible. I wish I thought I was that self-important. I'm just like, all right, Jeremy, cool. But it doesn't end there. It doesn't. Did he get rid of the quote tweet? So this is what he wrote as a quote tweet to what I said. This is your life now, Jeremy Hambley. That's it. Since our latest interaction, he's fired his editor. I didn't fire my editor. My editor was month-to-month contractual, and actually, we're still working together on major projects. Thank you, Pretty Idiot, for being a member for 3 months, by the way. Run 5-hour cope streams about not making enough money from YouTube. All right, everyone's here. Did I run cope streams saying I wasn't? I was saying that I can't talk about the same stuff I'm talking about, but did I ever say I'm not making enough money? Did I tell people that I need this money? I really need that money to pay my bills, my internet bill, my electric bill, my WWE Champions bill.
Yeah!
And abandon his 1 million. I never once said I was abandoning it, dude. I said I was pivoting the content from day one. I was thinking about doing what I'm doing now from 2019. If you don't believe me, ask my editor. But anyway. So keep in mind, didn't even add him. He's not even, and here's the weirdest thing about Jeremy. I checked this after I saw him. Like, I mean, I'm sure that people like, hey, Rich might be like, because I'm sure that there's people that sniff every fart I do and go back and tell Jeremy what it smells like. But I also think that he probably checks in on my Twitter because he ain't following me. So what are you doing? What are you, literally.
This is your life now.
What are you doing? Okay, you're not following me, but you're paying attention to me. And a tweet that had nothing to do with you, that you were, okay, I put your Jeremy Hambley, but your name is, I didn't at you. So I wrote back, imagine being so sensitive that a tweet that you weren't even tagged in, you decided to respond to. Also, I never begged for money from my audience. My audience, I'm sure if they thought I did, would tell me. And I'm making actual content for my main channel. Something you wouldn't know about because you're sucking the dick of your right-wing base daily. I'm going to applause there because if that is true. And the most amazing part, maybe he is following me with an alt account. That's a good point. He doesn't want to show that he's following me on my main account because he has to pretend he's beyond me. That's a good point. I didn't think of that. And people, and then there's people saying below, Rich, you're obsessed with him. I'm like, he literally quote tweeted me and complained about a tweet that I didn't even have him involved in. Oh, I would love it. I would love if David Jaffe did, but he won't do it. I am obsessed with him. Yes, he's like I still think his feelings are hurt because, like, Rich, back in 2018, we did a Diablo Immortal video together. And you hurt my feelings because you realized I'm a grifter with no morals and I'm a piece of shit. Oh, man. Anyway, and then, like, someone from I'm right wing, you claimed he is sucking our dicks. I guess the question is how. This guy got pissed off at me because I said he caters to the right wing, which I don't even know how you don't see that. And I wrote, simple. He makes sure to cater to your base to rile you up and make money off of you. He is also a complete hypocrite and practices nothing that he preaches. Need more reasons? I don't pay him a dime. He is paid. Well, your viewership pays him. You don't realize it, though. Like you, because people like his content. How do you know he doesn't practice what he... How do I know he doesn't practice what he preaches? It's proven with screen-capped receipt evidence every day. He's all perfect example. He's all about getting woke, get woke, go broke. But his coffee company, the parent company that he just reskins and says it's his coffee that he roasts, is a woke company. I thought he's all I thought LG Pride Month is just about gay guys butt fucking each other. That's literally what Jeremy said. What he doesn't practice what he preached. He confirms it every day. I just peed in my basement.
I just peed in my basement.
Yeah. Who has he tried to get canceled? Do we really need a list? Let's see. Me, Keffels, Zombie Kills. Who else is he going after? There's countless other people, too. I just can't think of them right now. Who else has he tried to cancel? There's many people he's tried to cancel. I don't know why he calls me Rick. I have no idea. Someone said I'm obsessed with him. And I'm like, who the fuck? Who is even... He tried to cancel H3. Brie Larson, he's been upset. I don't know if he technically tried to cancel her or he was creepy with her. But, you know, I'm trying to be as objective as possible. Can't Pat, you're canceled. The quarter... No, he just has a messy beard. If anything, his messy beard kind of proves that he does bathe. Because a beard that big usually looks explosive and out of control if you clean it. He may need to groom it more and trim it more. Why are we talking about his beard? Anyway, I just thought that was funny. I just thought that was pretty funny. Well, his wife went out for pizza without him at that moment, Kevin Luna. Oh, yeah, he went after 8 Thoughts, too. Who else is there? Rick. Well, you know his 2 black dads he admitted during David Jaffe's podcast were a crock of shit, right? So anyway, enough of him. I got other shit. What is... hold on. Just in case. There was nothing there, like, damning from Tipster, but... All right, he can't come on, Tipster. All right, so let's... Fox News, what the fuck? So, Nicholas Diorio, talk to me, boy. What's going on with this man?
Okay, by now I'm sure you're already well acquainted with Deaf Noodles. Over the course of last year, Deaf Noodles, whose real name is Dennis Fetosa, has become a budding lol cow in the comments.
That is a hairstyle, and those are headphones. I will leave. We'd be in his basements as a family. I love the Quartering's imaginary black dads. Yeah, this guy has a...
commentary community. Today we're going to embark on an excavation and leave no stone unturned in the deep dive that people have been seemingly requesting for months. Before we take the plunge, I'd like to reiterate a familiar deterrent. The harassment disclaimer that I place in my videos, in my descriptions, and in my channel bio are not algorithm fuel, and they don't exist to quote-unquote cover my ass. I genuinely mean it when I say that I don't encourage nor support the harassment of any of the subjects of my videos.
Well, yeah. I don't even know how Jeremy was deflecting that. Like, do you have to, like, tattoo on your chest, Jeremy, I'm trying to cancel ReviewTechUSA? Like, obviously you put out that stuff to try to get me canceled. But because he just didn't answer it, that means he's right? Fuck out of here with that shit.
Videos. In this video, I will be giving my opinions about someone that I am not shy about admitting I heavily dislike. If you're looking for a
well, that's why I was so pissed off I did the thing with Meta PCs. Because I always go out of my way. I let me getting pissed off get in the way. Because here's the thing. Now that he already does weaponize that, I will never do an interview with Rich after he tried to cancel my sponsor. Get lost. Yeah, and that's why I don't do it, because now look what he's going to do. He hides behind that.
Charitable, historical retelling, there are other channels who have created that. You won't find that here. If you're a member of the audience who's used to watching my more retrospective content where I hold your hand and walk you through it, you may wish to sit this one out. If you're unable to comprehend the difference between an opinion stated and the supplementary factual evidence used to support that statement, once again, you may wish to sit this one out. But
Who went after Papa Gut? Nick or Quartering?
without further ado, let's begin.
Alright, so Def Noodles is a YouTuber who, to be quite honest with you, is not really one of my favorites.
Quite easily the worst commentary channel on YouTube.
This
We're going to have to watch some of his vanilla videos.
guy has just had it coming.
And there's numerous.
Oh, Def Noodles? Oh, yeah, I saw that, where he was trying to make him out to be a pedo.
Examples you could grab of this guy just slandering other content creators on Twitter.
You're just asking for trouble. One of these days, I'm calling it right now, Def Noodles is gonna make a statement like this about someone who isn't gonna f around, and he's gonna end up in a fucking courtroom for a defamation case.
Absolute garbage fire. He's admitted to
Didn't he just tell someone to kill themselves on Twitter?
taking me out of context multiple times before. And this guy is trying to settle some little score with me.
Oh, shit. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, excellent. That's Nick doing the editing.
There's a reason why I wear these, because I'm actually playing a cat.
The Def Noodles YouTube channel was created on October 13th, 2018, and hit its stride pretty quickly as
Damn, that's actually a lot of... He started in 2018, has 500,000 subs. Jesus Christ. It took me like 30 years to hit 1 million.
he grew to 500,000 subscribers in approximately 2 years. This is a pretty big accomplishment, and that's probably the only
In 2018, that's an astronomical accomplishment. Not having corporate backing, not having any kind of clout to come in with, that's insane.
compliment that I'll pay him in this video. My first exposure to Def Noodles was through a commentary YouTuber known as Kavos, who used to do a show called Make or Break. It was essentially a live stream game show where audience members would submit their channels through donation, and Kavos would review said channels by being brutally honest. A young aspiring creator named Def Noodles was entered into the show through either his own hand or one of his fans, and Kavos was not kind.
He's like trying to catch up. What, is he not even edited this? Is this just like some random video he's found?
In fact, Def Noodles responded to this stream in an extremely aggressive way.
What's with the whole Minecraft thing and the 12-year-old girl cat ears?
On his channel shortly after.
I know it seems effortless, but it took me years of training. It really did. And if you think it's easy, then I challenge you to make a similar video so I can, you know, I can see it and we can have more videos like mine, honestly. I wish more people did videos like mine so we would be having more fun with content instead of ripping each other apart. Like, we're all creators, you know what I mean? I wish that we were building each other up instead of tearing each other apart.
Jasmine, you're very welcome.
But I appreciate a lot of the criticism that he's presenting here.
Look, I get tired of the YouTuber can't take criticism argument as much as the next guy. It's one of the oldest and most lukewarm common critiques that get levied these days, and I usually try to leave these out, because honestly, I think people get tired of hearing the same formula of commentary video. However, I actually have to make an exception here. This situation was so egregious, and Def Noodles is so pathetic, that I just have to let this one play out.
Hey guys, today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm just going to have a conversation with you guys because, especially after yesterday's video, I got a lot of feedback. A lot of you guys thought I wasn't being my regular self. I wasn't being like super excited and just animated about how I was reacting. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you guys. I've just been kind of sad over the past few days, ever since that whole thing with Kavos, where he basically tore my channel apart.
I have never in my time seen a YouTuber make a video contemplating quitting YouTube because they were critiqued in a game show. This really is a good starting point and really showcases the kind of person we're dealing with here. These days, and
Yeah, people tell me my content shit all the time.
hundreds of thousands of subscribers later, this drama with Kavos still bothers Def Noodles. In fact, he's let his clear bias show as he's attacked Kavos for using the F-slur in 2016, and he took Deji's side in a cowardly defamation suit against Kavos. Just for note, if Kavos' homophobic slur from 2016 is fair game, so is Def Noodles contemplating quitting YouTube in 2019. Fair is fair, Def Noodles. In regards to the lawsuit with Deji, for those who don't know, in the UK, defamation cases
Thank you, Mad Mox. I appreciate that.
Are notoriously easier for the plaintiff to win, as opposed to a similar type of lawsuit in the United States. Deji used the legal system to silence his detractors, and to this day, he has received little criticism for this. The irony of this entire situation is that Def Noodles couldn't comprehend the concept of Kavos' game show, but he commonly expresses discontent with the fact that the internet doesn't understand his poorly thought out satirical news gimmick. This is a subject we'll explore in great detail through the video, but in the meantime, I think the best place to start with Def Noodles is by dissecting the quality of his news-related content. On December 1st, Def Noodles reacted to a video made on him by a small creator named Grady Hooper that had 14 views at the time. Ironically enough, the first lines of this kid's script read as, "Def Noodles is the newest star drama channel, but he's extremely sensitive for a critic." And
wait, did he really respond to a video with 14 views? Bro. Thank you, Ukami. I appreciate that. Man, if I responded to any video, every video that had like 20 views about me, that's all I would do is respond to videos.
Def Noodles' reaction to hearing that was to tweet it out to his entire audience with a passive-aggressive caption, essentially proving the kid right. This led to a full meltdown where he calls Kavos a fascist, and in my opinion, tried to paint the entire commentary community as racist. This topic is pretty hilarious, and we'll explore it in great detail later. Moving on June 5th, Def Noodles posted a very positive tweet in support of Sky Jackson, who was using her platform at the time to dox people, including children, and I'm sure Def Noodles is aware of the severity of her actions, as he ended up reporting on them later. The initial tweet is still up, so who knows if that's his current stance. His Twitter account itself is a personification of the annoying side of cancel culture.
What song? This new one? I don't even know, dude. I'll have to look it up later. It's royalty free.
Culture. And if you're not sure what exactly I'm talking about, this is what you could expect from your typical Def Noodles tweet. Who could have seen this coming? Some are noticing that Tana Mojo's new necklace has what appears to be an iron cross at the top of a marijuana leaf. According to the ADL, the iron cross is adopted by neo-Nazis and white supremacists. However, cannot be determined to be a hate symbol when without the swastika.
I think the thing that we should notice more is how much fucking collagen does she have in her lips. It looks like she had she looks like she had an allergic reaction to eating something. Why do women think that looks good? It looks terrible. What the fuck?
You know, it's not even the fact that the Iron Cross is still awarded.
I hope her lips aren't like that now. I hope she let those things shrink. God damn.
I feel like the only reason this was reported is because she went to one too many COVID parties.
Thank you very much. Relax your course.
Your shoulders. Like, boom. Once you hit the threshold, now you're a Nazi. Or how about Def Noodle?
Yeah, but her lips are naturally fucking, like, you could tell her lips are naturally Angelina Jolie.
His critique of Jason Nash for dating his...
They're some big lips if they're natural or sexy, but not that. The fuck is that?
His 23-year-old, quote-unquote, super fan of a girlfriend who posted a video in 2019 simply stating that she was crushing on him.
But I just know that Jason was like...
Jesus Christ, does she ever stop talking? I should cut this because people are gonna click off the video. Like, oh my god, shut the f up!
And then...
Oh, she's like a female DSP. Bro, Phil could go on a tangent about anything for years.
Like, I have a huge crush
Literally.
on her.
Oh no, guys, how could she have consented? Def Noodles' coverage against David Dobrik has also been particularly interesting, as he previously advocated for sponsors to drop both David and James Charles. On the timeline, you can find Dennis directly advocating for sponsors to be removed from creators. This notably came before the Insider article was even released that escalated the drama. You can also find Dennis doing play-by-play, announcing
YouTube star. Well, James Charles kind of deserves it, doesn't he? Hasn't he been caught like multiple times going after like 15, 16-year-old boys? Allegedly. What joke was inappropriate?
which sponsors have dropped David in multiple different tweets. You
Hand
can also
jobs all
find Def
around.
Noodles being unsatisfied that some creators are losing sponsors, but others aren't. And you can even find Def Noodles advocating for and linking his audience.
This is why I kick my... You never go after sponsors. Not because someone may not even deserve it. It's because it always shoots the person in the foot who went after the sponsor, even if you feel it's justified. Don't go after sponsors. No matter what. Trust me. Sponsors drop people if they think their fart smells funny. If they're going to drop someone, they're going to drop them. You saying for someone to drop somebody is not going to make them drop them.
It's two platforms that have yet to demonetize David Dobrik, just to make sure that job gets done. This isn't even isolated to James and David either, because he also promoted various K-pop related tweets to his followers that were calling for Keemstar sponsors. Def Noodles subtly got his word in by quoting verbatim their call to deplatform Keemstar and get his sponsors to pull out. He essentially checks off all the required boxes that make up the...
Bro, if she had her lips at that, like, zibidada, I don't know how to say your name. If she had her lips like that, it just looks so bad, man. It's like when people were doing that stupid fucking Kylie Jenner challenge. No, don't do Kylie. Like, it just looks ridiculous.
Archetype of a scumbag online. But just to continue today's meme, we could talk about the video where he takes Aaron and Carly from the Vlog Squad wildly out of context to create a narrative that just isn't there in the source
How old is Def Noodles?
material.
Anyway, folks, as David's sandcastle crumbled, Vlog Squad members Aaron and Carly ended
He's a
up
hairy
uploading a
man.
video addressing the situation.
We have been getting a lot of comments and messages this past week about
Oh,
our
he's not
involvement
young.
with the
He's
Vlog
not young.
Squad. And
He's only a little younger than me. Kind of depressing. I look like I'm 50. He looks like he's 22. Making those cat ear things a little more lull.
And I just want to make it clear, like, we've seen stuff saying, like, David hasn't allowed us to talk about it, or we're legally not allowed to talk about it. And
What is happening, folks?
He pretended to be 27 until he was outed. Well, minus the fact you shouldn't lie about that. He looks it.
Folks, is David Dobrik really relinquishing the death grip that he has on his cult? Vlog Squad members should wash their back and maybe not drink David's Kool-Aid for a few days.
From that clip, I imagine your takeaway
Bro, people thought I looked like I was 40 when I was 20. I've been fucked since birth.
was that David is controlling all these people and making sure they're not allowed to speak. I mean, Def Noodles does mention cults. The implication is that he's being pretty manipulative behind the scenes, but this is actually about as charitably clipped as one of your generic live stream
It's all
fails
good.
clips.
I just want to make it clear, like, we've seen stuff saying, like, David hasn't allowed us to talk about it, or we're legally not allowed to talk about it, and, like...
Or, like, no one is telling us right now that we can talk about it. It's just...
This music kind of slaps. Like my ass. Why is my dog barking? Am I getting swatted? I'm not kidding. Just... Let me go to Ring. I am not getting swatted. Cool. Live view. Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
It's been a lot. We've just been taking this time to really process this whole situation.
Well, my Ring doorbell, the one time I did got swatted, I looked down and I'm like, oh, look, those are cops. I'll be right back.
Ourselves and...
Bro, Google Fish, he took a shit last night. It smelled like death and asparagus. The entire upstairs. I was like, motherfucker, you need to turn the fan on. I almost puked on my iPad last night. Dude, who would swap me? Do you know the laundry list of people that hate me?
Decide how we were going to talk about it because it is a very sensitive thing.
As you can see here, Def Noodles basically reshaped the entire nature of this conversation to create content, which seems to be a mainstay on his various platforms, as we will discuss in detail as the video progresses. It's important to note that...
Why does he have a caricature of him with a goatee taped on? That's amazing.
more people are finally...
It's like a Hulk Hogan. I'm here, brother.
...starting to understand just how insufferable this guy is.
Multiple times. I got swatted live on stream a couple times.
Def Noodles covers the story today, and he takes that clip out of context. He made it seem like these girls were saying David told them to be silent. Bro, I'm telling you, like, this entire fucking drama commentary fucking community.
Keemstar, have you just discovered Def Noodles? This is what I'm about to ask.
While David Dobrik is a pretty easy villain of the week to talk about, and most agree that he should be condemned, Def Noodles still manages to fuck this up. This guy just seems to struggle even when he's echoing the popular opinion of topics that are supposed to be slam dunks.
He allegedly had a part in planning the entire night, filmed it, uploaded it for millions of people to watch, and then made money off of it because he's way more likable. Look at those big brown eyes, folks. Plus, monetizing trauma is his business model.
Dennis, come on, man. This video has ads on it. Not only that, your last 8 videos have David Dobrik in the title. That's 8 in about a week, and if I keep scrolling, you have plenty more. Not only that, you censored the word abuser, so your video stays in the algorithm and monetized, my dude.
And I just hope that her abuser gets to face the entire full consequence of all of this.
I agree 100%, folks.
If someone wanted to swing a stupid allegation like monetizing trauma for views, I think your channel is the example. Maybe I would pivot your argument. When covering Pyrocynic, oh my god, that ratio. It's okay, Dennis, we've all been there, but let's see if he's actually earned it. When covering Pyrocynical, Dennis starts off the video by taking a shot at, well,
Pyrocynical has an interesting hairstyle. I've always, like, it just gets more extreme. He just gets more flock of seagulls. Yes, Porky's Buttle, I thought you already were a mod. That is like a wave.
Every other YouTube commentary channel.
It just grows by the hour. It changes like DSP's goatee. Noodles from Gorillaz, the band Gorillaz. I'm happy. I'm feeling sad.
Who's currently covering the story.
Well, that's unusual.
I thought that whole thing with Pyro was debunked.
Well, I heard all that stuff on the internet, so you know what that means, folks. It's 100% true across the board with no nuance to it whatsoever. And I don't even need to hear Pyro's side to make up my mind because I'm a YouTube commentator and I'm just going to go along with what everybody else is saying and not stick my neck out because I'm too scared to think for my...
Why would you lie about your age? So weird. Who gives a fuck? There's motherfuckers that come on YouTube at like 55 and blow up. Who cares? It's just weird.
Myself. And yes, I am as smart as a block of wood.
I feel like this blow is actually kind of funny, but the issue I have with it is the video that comes after this segment is fucking terrible. Like it or not, if he put out a good video and slammed the community, I feel like this would have been a pretty dominating performance by Def Noodles. But he just doesn't, so he sounds like an idiot. Let me explain. Naturally, when a bunch of YouTubers try to talk about the law, it's a fucking disaster. That shouldn't come as a surprise because this is a community where most haven't attended college, some haven't finished high school, and the vast majority of us have never stepped foot in law school. Def Noodles brings up 2 sources to discuss sexting laws, the first of which is a post, Is Sexting Illegal?
Yes, I've played some I gotta figure out the best settings for the Steam Deck, because it goes from like 60 to like, it like drops down to 20 for a millisecond, so I'll figure it out.
From a law
It's definitely capable of running it well, I just gotta figure out.
Law firm's website.
Yes, I can eat a cucumber on a stream. $100 I'll eat a cucumber on a stream.
Site called Coxwell and Associates.
Is sexting illegal?
And I'll dip it in hot sauce, make it worth your money.
Legal. It is important to know that while sexting between consenting adults is not illegal, sending or receiving a sexually suggestive text or image to or from a person under the age.
Yo, has Rich ever watched a Liquid? Yeah, people people thought Liquid Richard was like a me getting trolled by the same Wings community it wasn't, though.
Of 18 is considered exploitation or child.
Nah, I've done it for 100. That's 100's fair. 100's fair.
And can result in criminal.
I'm not going to deep throat a mic. I'm not going to sit here and give oral sex to an object. I'm going to eat the cucumber.
Charges.
This isn't too egregious, as he's just presenting what sexting entails in the segment. However, if one were to actually find the blog...
Wait, no, sexting isn't illegal. So long as it was someone underage.
Post and continue reading, this is a post about former politician Anthony Weiner, and this post is a great source.
The irony of that man being named Anthony Weiner, I love it. He was a fucking pervert, a pedo, and he had a big dong. Like, come on.
If you'd like to read more about how a case like this would be handled in Mississippi, keep that in the back of your mind for just a second. He also showcased some statements from lawyers.
Liquid Richard is, for some reason, like an alias of Wings. There's someone who actually makes, like, pretty banging, like, I guess you would call it, like, trap music, where they use audio samples or shit that Wings says. It's really high production value. Really entertaining.
So let's see what some lawyers had to say about a similar situation.
Is there any law against sexual talk with a minor online? Not asking her to have sex, just roleplay sex online. Yeah.
Yes!
This happened. I was talking to a 16-year-old. We did roleplay sexual fantasy. I also wrote nonfiction erotica for her about a sexual encounter with a minor. We didn't meet. We only traded a non-sexual profile pic.
Am I having deja vu, folks? Because that sounds exactly what Pyrocynical is going through, especially if those profile pictures are furry pics.
Okay, so this is where...
What was with him and furries with Pyrocynical? I gotta find out about that, too.
It really goes off the rails. In this segment, the lawyers he's talking about are the good people from Avo.com. For those who aren't aware, Avo is literally the legal alternative to, like, Yahoo or Google Answers.
Very frequently, those offenders went to prison for a very long time.
Wait, hold on, folks. That makes absolutely no sense. Why would an adult go to jail for sharing explicit text messages?
Is Pyro really a furry?
Just with a minor. They're just text. Now, I may not be a lawyer, but this next guy is, and he makes some pretty good points.
He couldn't even phone up a real lawyer for the sake of the segment or contact a YouTube one from the community. On top of that, the person asking is from Kansas. The first lawyer who's replying is also from Kansas, and the final one is from Boise, Idaho. So we have Kansas.
That's common knowledge? How, like, is it like a sexual thing? I don't understand furries. I don't. Rich, I'm starting a YouTube show called Turd Time. I want to know if I could fish turds out of your hairy buttered ass for the first episode. Well, why are you even fucking asking? Of course. Like, I don't know.
Idaho and Mississippi. For those who don't know, Pyro's from the UK.
As long as it's consenting adults, I won't lose any respect for what anybody does. I like vagina. I don't, but and my point being is that, like, I don't need a woman to dress up like a fox or a wolf, or I just titties. Hey man, whatever your sexual preference is, but when you start putting on animal costumes, I'm kind of just like, strange.
Ivory Rasmus is from Pennsylvania, and at the time, this wasn't even in the hands of the police yet. On top of that, the third example that Def Noodles is showcasing is literally just a guy talking about
Isaiah, no.
About how this works down in Idaho. None of these state laws are relevant to the discussion of what's happening, or rather what isn't happening to Pyro. But do you know who knows this best? Oh, it's Def Noodles.
Seems like both in England and in...
I put on a bird suit for a membership goal. I don't want anyone to butt fuck me in the bird suit. Yes, you do. Stop lying. Yeah, Beal.
In Pennsylvania, where Pyro and his underage friend are respectively located, they're not really looking to prosecute people who are not exchanging images, but only having explicit conversations, even though the law seems really vague in that sense.
Wait, so Def Noodles conceded that the locations of...
How many for a cucumber suit? For how many days?
that are actually relevant likely wouldn't prosecute Pyro in this segment before what I just showed you. So this entire video is, hey, this probably won't happen, but here are some lawyers online that agree with me from fucking avo.com to try to inject something into the conversation.
Peter.
I think my favorite part of this whole thing is when he ignores...
Again, if it's two consenting adults, I want people to be happy. I don't know. It's just when you have to start dressing up like different species to get a boner. I don't know. I'll just look at the birds and leave it at that.
Ignores the disclaimer under each lawyer's post where they both clearly indicate that these messages are not legal advice and that they don't prove the basis for making decisions about the course of legal action. Once again, I agree with Def Noodles that Pyro should have checked the age of the people he engaged with. But when I say that out loud, I don't need to gloss over the relevant information and highlight something that I know is irrelevant to...
Dude, that's the first thing you do, Pyro. Dude, if I even had a remote, I'm like, yo, hi, how are you? ID. I already told you that dating app story. It's the first thing I fucking did. And if she said no, I would have just blocked her.
To the actual discussion and manipulate the situation. Def Noodles is the legal alternative of a guy who thinks he has cancer because he just Googled what a stomach ache could mean and self-diagnosed. So I think through these examples, I've effectively laid the ground.
I know people who do that all the time.
On work to establish that Def Noodles
What's up,
is at
Neil?
best pretty fucking stupid, and at worst, he's dangerously biased to the point of manipulating.
Yeah, I could just get shirtless and magically I'm a furry. Fuck you.
Narratives. But Def Noodles isn't just a YouTube news channel. Dennis is also a proud satirist, and I'd love to...
I don't give a fuck if they don't want to show me an ID. If I'm not 100% sure of their age, ID. Don't want to show it. Blocked. Goodbye.
to spend a little time talking about my favorite joke he's ever told. Alright, calm down, Rick and Morty fans. This one's an extremely intricate joke. The setup is Def Noodles calling John Swan an alt-right YouTuber over and over again.
Stop it. I can't talk about that publicly till you got to send me evidence of that because that's insane.
How's that a joke?
Yeah, you can't, it's Sidorico, 100%. You can't. Oh, it's weird. What do you want ID for? I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking put because. And what's funny is even the girl who was 18 who talked to me on a dating app, she looked like she was 25. I could have just, but I'm like, just in case. Luckily I did because she was literally 18. Furries are sex. We literally just have an interest in creating content regarding anthropomorphic animals. Not that deep. Maybe for you. Is there other people though? Vinny?
What's the punchline?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Dennis. The punchline is Def Noodles saying that John is alt-right. And that's it. That's the whole joke.
And in other news, Dream exposed an alt-right YouTuber.
How's that a joke?
Dream exposing an alt-right YouTuber.
What's the punchline?
In this video, I spoke a lot about disclaimers that I put on my videos to discourage harassment. And Def Noodles has some of those disclaimers of his own.
That's true. Okay. I'll take it back a little bit.
None of which have anything to do with harassment on a channel where he talks about people critically, by the way, but that's okay. It's perfectly fine. He doesn't have to have them. It's just ironic that I'm doing more to discourage harassment than he is. The disclaimers on the Def Noodles channel
gotta cut some metal
down to a get-out-of-jail-free card so he can fall back on Satire if he ever finds himself in hot water. Essentially, Dennis isn't the douchebag. Def Noodles was. Except when Dennis goes mask off because of that criticism stuff we talked about him not being able to handle. In this tweet here, he highlights half of a definition to try to loosely pin John Swan as being an alt-righter because he made fun of neo-pronouns. First,
yo, this is making my head spin. Thank you, Diznaldi. About what is his new beg? I heard him beg in real time today.
First of all, that's not how definitions work. And second, I fully reject that neo-pronouns would be considered mainstream enough to even fit this in the first.
What happened? I have a furry friend and she sent me her first sauna getting fucked in the ass. There's not... What?
Place.
I think people are really over it.
No. You shut the fuck up. At their
Def Noodles looks like if Hassan did it age past 2010. That's pretty good.
core, neopronouns are the opposite of mainstream. They're literally pronouns that people make up on their own that aren't officially recognized. I've seen these used on Twitter and TikTok, but that's about it, and probably for good reason. If you identify as a cloud, there's a set of neopronouns for that. If you identify as a Kanye West fan, there's a set of neopronouns for that. If you identify as part of the Green Lantern Corps, there's a set of neopronouns for...
Yeah, Matthew, but I want to make it abundantly clear. It's not news is coming back. It's just, okay, hey, Jay, we're going to work on some big reviews and big projects together. It's not me going back on what I said. No. No. It's not. But, you know, he came to me, he's like, yo, why don't we work on some of the big... I'm like, yeah, okay. But like the DSP chicken thing, that's all going to be me. A part of my community is, yeah, just like the anime manga has a part of its community that interested in creating porn. I saw them creating like Elden Ring porn.
For that, if you identify as James Marriott, there's a set of neopronouns for that. To act like someone joking about
What?
pronouns like James, or James Self is somehow a rejection of mainstream politics and use of online media to disseminate provocative content, often expressing opposition to racial, religious, or gender equality is pretty fucking...
I don't even know what a neopronoun is. The fuck is a neopronoun now? If it exists, there's porn of it. That I did know.
Stupid, and also far removed from what would actually make someone an alt-righter.
No, Matthew, I wasn't saying that to you. I apologize if it sounds like I was being defensive towards you, but I'm just saying other people, oh, look, I'm like, no, like, you're not, no. I'm not making 30 Switch Pro videos. It's over. 90% of all the furry stuff I see is porn. I don't know. I don't look into any of the furry stuff. I don't really care. Yeah, I made that other video purposely at the food court today, just to be a dick.
How's that a joke? What's the punchline?
Keep in mind, this tweet was done from his Go With Dennis account and not from his Def Noodles account, meaning you can't run and hide behind a persona here, Dennis. In response, a small YouTuber named Zog decided to give Def Noodles some of his own medicine and baselessly accuse him of sending a racial slur, which provoked Def Noodles to respond as one would expect. While I think fighting with fire on something like this is wrong, and I disavow it, I can't help but laugh that Def Noodles called a Jewish kid an alt-righter. You called a Jewish kid an alt-righter, you fucking moron.
Thankfully, I'm at a point in my life where I have self-confidence and I'm not going to place my entire...
What's with the Pat the NES punk hair? Like, he would look so much better with a short haircut. Is that like a... I don't know. I'm old. Is that like a trendy thing? Pat's my age, but he's kind of my age too. Like, what's with the fucking bowl cuts? I thought those died in like 1995. Yeah, I'm going to take a break after we watch this. I'm going to end this, come back, and we're just going to do a shoot the shit stream. And
entire self-worth on someone else's opinion of me. If this was maybe like 10 years ago, maybe I would take your opinion so serious.
You want me to suffer, motherfucker? 500. And I'll get like a cup, and I'll get... not the hottest hot sauce. I'll get like... what kind of hot sauce do you want? Yeah, these people are fucking crazy, man.
Seriously, and like even maybe quit YouTube. Maybe I was that weak-minded.
1 week later.
I'm just gonna be...
yeah, I don't understand that haircut, man. Goodbye, 8. Dude, I'm just learning about... and I'm just me, the idiot. It's like, hey, Def Noodles, come on my show tomorrow. I'll have to be learning some lore tonight after my streams.
Completely honest with you guys, I've just been kind of sad over the past few days, ever since that whole thing with Kavos, where he basically tore my channel apart.
Today we're going to be talking about the biggest crybaby on the internet. He's extremely sensitive to...
yeah, well, with that get up at pushing 40, that they have a reason to laugh at you. Yo, Chris, what are you doing tomorrow? Chris, you want to be a moderator for the Def Noodles thing? So I kind of have someone to kind of like discuss. You're free. Hit me up after. Hit me up on Twitter.
Criticism. He's cringe. He's unfunny. He's toxic. I'm talking.
It's at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow. He said 10 a.m. his time. That's 3 hours behind me. So I don't know where you're from. Maybe Kristen Ark is from Uranus. You got fucking... God damn it. It's so good. Thank you, though, Chris. Scorpion pepper sauce or Carolina Reaper sauce? Which one's hotter? I'll do the hotter one. Oh, you live in New York. I probably could have told by your accent. Boy, I don't want to have to stop watching Rich because of furry hate. Been a fan forever. I'm not hating on furries. I'm just confused. Why, you're a furry? Maybe you'll have to come on and explain furry. I'm serious. I'll have you on the show. You could explain furries to me. Dead ass.
Talking about Def Noodles. Def Duty likes to call himself a
Maybe I'll have to reschedule it at a time where I could have, like, Kristen Ark on. I'll think about it. Because I need someone to know more of the... Like, this is, like, making my fucking head spin. I didn't realize. But Jay doesn't know the Def Noodles lore. Google nipples. Google nipples. I like that.
comedian, but everybody knows he's not really a comedian. He doesn't know what a joke sounds like. He's never been inside a comedy club.
I just took a deal and test me. I'm 100% that bitch. Even when I'm crying crazy.
Yeah, I got boy problems.
Wait, hold on. Is that Def Noodles on stage? On a green screen stage, it kind of looks like.
There's a reason why I wear these, because I'm actually...
Arcade, come on and explain. I'm not saying that. Believe me, I won't have anyone attack you. Come on and explain furries to me, so I understand them.
Playing a cat.
On January 10th, Def Noodles published a video to Twitter claiming that I was maliciously inciting my audience to slander him. This is something
No, Keemstar hates me. He won't moderate.
I am completely against, and the type of thing that I have publicly...
Not even going to waste my time asking him. He won't moderate. The only person that Keemstar hates more than me is the quartering. Carolina Reaper is the hottest, but be careful. It could send you to the ER. Oh, yeah, maybe not the... maybe we'll stay away from Carolina Reaper.
...opposed for a large
He now owns a comedy club. Does he really?
portion of my time online. The evidence used to support this claim is the following clip.
Somebody make a Def Noodles app, tweet horrible shit on there, then post some replies to his tweet, and see if his...
You can't, dude. The website's down. You gotta get a gap, dude.
No, I have it open right now.
Okay.
All right. Somebody make a horrible account of Def Noodles.
Yeah, so I can screenshot and reply to him.
If one were to extend this clip another 2 to 3 seconds, they would hear me audibly say that I'm gonna pass on that one. I don't want to be involved.
And be like, this you. Say this you, and see how many people believe it, dude.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pass on that one. I don't want to be involved.
I wish I could understand the lore of Minecraft. I'm smart enough to know that not every game has to cater to me, and that would be very self-absorbed and egotistical. I just can't understand it.
This was clipped incredibly uncharitably.
The club is tiny as fuck, Ukami.
As you can probably now see. Therefore, I could not be inciting anything.
All right, hit me up on Twitter. It's at the real RTU. The real, like it's not spelled funky or anything. I'm 41. Don't worry.
Based on me literally saying that I disavowed or don't support the things he clipped uncharitably for his Twitter timeline. Sometime past.
Half the quartering moderate. Yeah, just.
This is your life now.
And Def Noodles agrees to debate one of my friends from the call who chooses to bring this up directly to him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pass on that one. I don't want to be involved.
So see, I'm gonna pass on that one. So he disavowed. Disavowed.
Wait
Thank you.
a minute.
I
29
appreciate that.
seconds. Your clip is 20 seconds. Why the fuck did you leave that context out?
So he did.
You know what? Just because I'm a nice guy, you didn't ask for it. This is for Mr. Hambley.
This is your life now. This is your life now.
Try to relax your anus.
Try to relax your anus.
Try to relax your fucking anus,
Try
Jeremy.
to relax your anus.
I know your turds are firmer now because you decreased your drinking. You put that up on Twitter for some reason. So relax your fucking
Try
anus.
to relax your anus.
Yeah, it's not. I took off for Fitz at 50. Stop the fucking music. Fuckbirds. Look up Don't Fuck with Dogs. It's a documentary on YouTube about a group of zoophiliacs who abuse animals. There's a furry who was welcomed with open arms to a fur con, and he wanted to drug underage. That's wonderful. I don't know what your name is. I believe. What is that? What language is that? But thank you very much. Can I please get a fart RT? What is RT? A fart.
No, Daddy, no.
My cock's name is Carlos. My cock's name is Carlos. Sounds like I'm saying his name is Robert Paulson from Fight Club. Rest in peace, Meatloaf. That is one of the best fucking movies of all time, by the way. Still stand. Oh, it's overrated. Your ass is overrated. Want to watch that again. He's not lying. I work in a plant that makes beef jerky. Well, to wear hazmat suits when we are special. Oh boy. Down to elaborate too regarding it. Okay, I will check my DMs because, like I said, I'm going to stop after this stream again. I'm going to go eat some dinner. I haven't eaten dinner yet. I've been out the whole fucking day too, and then I'm going to come back and we'll do a shoot the shit stream. Where, anyway, if my son was gay, I'd love him. Of course, if he was a furry, we'd have to have a talk. No, you would still love him. Bullshit. You would absolutely still love him. Ooh. Okay. You got to give me like literally 2 minutes. I'll be right back. We'll do... Sorry. I don't want anyone to see my balls by accident. back. Sorry. Jesus. Nothing like singing happy birthday to your brother shirtless.
Disavowed it 29 seconds in. Let's hear to see if he tells his audience.
No. You're not going to win this game. You're not going to win this game by simply saying he didn't disavow it immediately. He disavowed it 2 sentences after or whatever.
So that's close to 300 people that have been now informed to go do this. And I'm just going to tell you what I would do in this situation. If
I got a text real quick. We're singing a happy birthday to your brother. I'm like, oh, I got to go down shirtless.
If I didn't agree with a situation, I wouldn't necessarily.
I had to sing him happy birthday. That's what took so long, son of a pirate. You son of a bitch.
Say I disavow it. I would say, hey, everyone in the chat, don't do this.
An important thing to note is that this interview was conducted when Def Noodles was out of character, so he isn't able to hide behind his satire argument for any of the following. When questioned why Def Noodles removed the part about how I didn't want to be involved with any attempts to spread misinformation about him, he pivoted his argument from Nick was maliciously inciting an audience to slander him to Nick didn't tell his audience to stand down.
I get you, and that's fine. That's great that he disavowed it, but he never told his chat to not do it. And I understand that.
What if he told his chat not to do it or whatever, and they still did it anyway? Would you have clipped that tweet differently?
I would have, yeah, if he had told his chat.
Really?
These are two completely different things, but nevertheless. However, once again, if you were to extend the clip just a few more seconds, one would be able to easily prove that Def Noodles has lied yet again. This clip also contains me literally telling my audience to stop and not do that.
Next time Def Noodles streams, Spanish out BLM. See how fast he...
So basically what I'm getting from this guy is he's a slanderholic. He's addicted to putting out shit that's fake. My brother's 20. He's addicted to putting out shit that's fake about people. It's slander.
Yeah, spam his channel BLM. No. None of that.
There's something wrong with BLM. Whoa!
But that's not all. If we were to fast forward my stream about a minute ahead, I would also go on to predict that Def Noodles would clip me out of context to smear me, based on how he's created context in the past to embrace the veil of victimhood.
Dude, I'm 100% not down for this. Like, I'm telling you that I don't want to be involved, and I guarantee my name's gonna be on the tweet. I guarantee me sitting here telling you I do not want to be involved, and I don't think this is fair.
Dude, that literally happened.
What are you talking about, Nick? Look at that real tweet I just sent you.
No,
You're
stop it.
so right, Nick. You're so right.
It doesn't even matter what I say. He's gonna name me anyway, and I'm gonna post this clip.
In the debate, Def Noodles would go on to talk about how my channel could suffer the consequences.
But
that's his nickname, defamation Noodles. Gee, I'm shocked.
if you're on Twitch, his account would get shut down. You know, he would.
You might get a strike on YouTube too. So
yeah, so there you go. He would be the one who would suffer the consequence. He would suffer the consequence because it's still his stream.
While on Twitter, he was liking tweets of people who were false flagging me and trying to get me deplatformed. Motives here regarding why he would want to lie about me seem to all check out now. After he realized his arguments levied in the debate were thoroughly debunked, Def Noodles issued an apology, and he finally appeared to take an L.
I just want to add a correction right here. I'm saying that Nicholas Diorio didn't tell his chat to not attack me. However, I was later shown footage where he actually did say that. Unfortunately, I didn't have that piece of the footage. I just want to make that absolutely clear. Nicholas Diorio told his chat to not do that.
He's suing Keemstar? Really?
Please disregard anything that I may say that relates to the opposite. I had no knowledge that he had told his audience that, so that's why I said those things. If I had different knowledge, I wouldn't have said it.
Which lasted all of about 5 seconds until I realized he literally lied in his apology. He then claims the reason he took me out of context was because he conveniently didn't have the footage, despite the fact that he claimed multiple times that he did have the entire 4 minutes of context.
I'm not gonna bullshit with you. That is slanderous.
I have the full 3-minute clip here, and we can watch it. I mean, I was going to bring it back to the Twitter thread, but we can go back to that. So here's the thing with that, and we have to watch the full. I think it's 3 or 4 minutes, and then it kept happening. And you're right, Diorio did disavow you, but
immediately. He wanted nothing to do with this, and the reason why he wanted nothing to do with this is because he knew exactly what you would do. He knew that you would tie him into this. He knew that you would clip him dishonestly.
I have the full.
Why do you have to pull? I mean, I literally described to you what the clip is.
We should watch it for full context so that we can see exactly what happened.
But it seems like if you have the clip downloaded, you have it installed, then you saw that part.
He also apologized on Twitter in a reply to my tweet, but he never unblocked me, so I couldn't even read it. That's because the apology wasn't for me. It was for my audience to see, and it was damage control. I don't think it's a stretch to say that this person maliciously clipped me to paint me in a negative light. I don't think it's a stretch to
That sounds familiar. I won't name any names, though.
say that he isn't sorry for doing it. The fact of the matter is, he got caught lying, walked it back, got caught lying again, then apologized where he got caught lying again. I presented all of this to him with timestamps in his comment section that he was actively replying to, by the way, at the time, and I got no response.
Men arguing about cucumbers. Sincerely, your biggest furry fan. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate it.
All I know is the same person who claims he was sorry for his botched smear campaign is now openly calling me an alt-righter and bragging how it's just satire on Twitter and nothing's gonna happen. I'm convinced this guy wants me banned from all forms of social media and will use his large platform to accomplish that goal by any means necessary.
So tell me why that's true. Like, what factual evidence, like what tweet outside of what happened December 2nd, what tweet do you have of like Def Noodles or me saying that I'm a victim of harassment? This is funny because you like to say a lot that other people cry harassment, right? You know, I think it was unfortunate placement of it being after this that people drew those conclusions. So I'm not trying to play a victim. I'm not a victim by any stretch of the imagination.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Let's talk about the race card. In this segment, you'll be hearing steelman argumentation and honest representation for both Def Noodles defenders and Def Noodles detractors, who will henceforth be known as Def Noodles questioners, or DQ for short. Anytime I'm in this blue color, I'm a passionate defender against the DQ. And anytime I'm in this yellow color, I'm a proud DQer myself. With that being said, let's begin. On December 1st, 2020, Def Noodles published a series of tweets targeting myself and various...
There's a group of YouTubers who attempt to present themselves as the moral center of this commentary community. I don't do that. I'm not saying he's even talking about me, but these same folks dogpile on other YouTubers whenever... Oh, here we go. Don't get it twisted. They would never face off one-on-one. They need the group.
Various other YouTubers that we've collaborated with in the past antagonistically. The first and third tweets are straw man arguments claiming that we see ourselves as the moral center of YouTube, or present ourselves as holier than thou, which couldn't be farther from the truth. On a good day, these tweets in isolation would likely not qualify as a critique even worth taking the time to respond to. The second tweet pertains to the greater scope, and I'll get to that in a few moments. The fourth and fifth tweets in this
These YouTubers use shady tactics to try to disenfranchise minority creators. They make jokes that hinge on misogyny. They flirt with fascist ideas and mask it as edginess. I haven't seen that personally, so I don't think that's true.
Contain Def Noodles effectively pulling the race card to silence criticism. Def Noodles claims that we use shady tactics to disenfranchise minority creators or make jokes that hinge on misogyny and flirt with fascist ideas by masking them as edgy jokes. Def Noodles goes on to state that he's from Brazil and moved to America with nothing by himself at the age of 12. He ends the tweet off by saying that he doesn't run away and won't be apologizing for standing up for himself. Now let's break that down. This rant was in response to criticism he was receiving by tweeting out Grady Hooper's video with just 14 views to his entire audience. The tweet that he made about bait and him using it to say people invalidated his freedom to respond is complete bullshit. He absolutely looks sensitive here, and the criticism isn't new. He's established from the start of his channel that people talking negatively about him is something that he's been unable to handle. Def Noodles was so...
Yeah, when you respond to like a video with low viewership or a troll channel where it gets like 200 views, take it from someone who knows you're sensitive. I was fucking sensitive.
ass mad that people called him out on that, and he actually went on quite the tirade, implying that my friends and I disenfranchise minority creators. We're racist for calling him sensitive for overreacting to an exposed video by some random kid. He then presented the image of himself as some immigrant.
The irony of all, if you fight back and respond, then they deem you sensitive. If you don't, they run you over. I'm from Brazil. I moved to America by myself when I was 12 with nothing. I don't run away.
He's overcome tremendous obstacles in his life to get where he is today, and he won't let racists like Nick Diorio, Augie, Boblax, Tipster, wait a minute, Edwin, oh shit. Some of the group Def Noodles was calling racists are literally Mexican themselves. Regardless though, the obvious racism won't stop Def Noodles as he plans to stand up for himself against it. If you couldn't already tell,
I know, he said he was 27, but he's only 4 years younger than me. He's 37.
Well, this attack is completely unfounded and ridiculous. Def Noodles got upset that he was getting clowned on, and decided to try and paint all of his detractors as some of the worst labels possible to invalidate this criticism. This is probably the biggest bitch move I've ever seen anyone pull in my 3 years on the website, and it's the beginning stages of a larger pattern of behavior that we see from Dennis.
That fucking getup, man.
In regards to how he tried to pile on John Swan with his slimy timed alt-right
I do got the guns out. New York Times, Mom.
Allegation. To make this even more embarrassing, if you take a look at Dennis's IMDb page, it claims he was born in New Jersey to a wealthy Warner Brothers executive, and then he moved to Brazil at a young age before attending boarding school in Florida, all before his claim of moving to America with nothing at age 12.
Time for change. I've been thinking about doing it since 2019. It's time. It's time. Not that I'm killing off the other channel, which the conspiracy theorists turned into that, but yeah, daily news no more, unless something absolutely major comes up. But yeah, it's time.
Then videos started popping up of Dennis making skits about how he sees himself as Brazilian and white.
Wow, man, I thought you were just a regular white dude.
I am Brazilian and I'm white.
Another video surfaced of Dennis claiming that his mother was Italian. For someone so hell-bent on claiming that we're all trying to disenfranchise minorities, let me ask you a simple question. How different is Dennis actually when compared to me or any of the Mexican Americans that he tied into this allegation? And the rebuke to all of this is as follows. The context you're framing these tweets in is dishonest. The parallel that you're drawing between tweets 4 and 5 are uncharitable at best, and these should be considered at face value. I recommend you watch the entirety of the debate between Dennis and Augie RFC to see the full context of his response.
First off, I think it's important to clarify that nowhere in this tweet does it say you're racist. It says disenfranchise minority creators. It says makes jokes.
Wait,
that
if you're disenfranchising minority creators, wouldn't that be a racist act?
I mean, people.
Yes, it would be.
The whole thing behind white privilege is that people don't understand that they're doing something that's disenfranchising someone without them even realizing it.
Just because these kids are disenfranchising minorities doesn't mean that Dennis actually claimed they were doing this intentionally. And before you start critiquing the rhetoric of the Def Noodles Twitter account, it's imperative to remember that Def Noodles is a satirist. He's a character. He was created by
what's
Dennis,
up, Quinn?
and he's not
How are you?
actually Dennis.
This is also hyperbolic. I have to remind you, this is hyperbolic because this is coming from a character kind of place. There's truth in it, and I'll show you where the truth is, but there's hyperbole to it. So they flirt with fascist ideas. So the whole thing here that a lot of people took was like, it's calling them fascists, right? So here's the thing, flirting, okay? When you flirt with someone, does that mean that you're immediately dating them? I don't think you're a fascist.
What? If you're flirting with no, you can't compare dating someone and flirting with them. If they're flirting with fascist ideas, that means that their mentality is that they're fascist. They don't have to get in a relationship with fascism. It's different. Makes no sense.
I think that you play around with fascist ideas.
If Dennis actually thought Augie was a fascist, why wouldn't he just say it to his face? Why deny it? Especially when there are so many clear examples, like these ones.
Do you think Ayler was like a big memer, dude, or do you think he was just a stern asshole? Do you think he had like deep down he was like, well?
Augie RFC referred to him as a big memer.
Do you think he was like, kill those filthy kids?
Okay. So you get the point. You say that Hitler's a fascist.
Yes.
Of course. So, I mean, I think that's where that conclusion was drawn.
Even if this wasn't the best example, there are still hundreds of examples you can pull off, even in this debate.
Dev Noodles in a minute. Thinks he's a comedian. Hell, he thinks he's Andy Kaufman, but his character sucks. I'm noticing. This is good clip notes for me for tomorrow.
Of Augie making questionable, edgy jokes.
So here's another one.
Would you rather be in an orgy or storm the Capitol?
Obviously storming the Capitol.
So would you say that storming the Capitol was like a thing? Would you say that storming the Capitol was a fascist thing? It was like a coup, right? So it's fascist. Today, you really tweeted the Confederate flag. So, I mean, that's the flag. That's where that conclusion comes from. You know?
That's not the Confederate flag. That's the flag of Chadville.
Like it or not, Augie is a misogynist. Hyperbole or not, he's openly targeting women with his platform.
So, Nick, this fat slut has an OnlyFans to run. She doesn't have time to back up her bullshit. Leave her alone, mate. But Nick disavowed it immediately. I saw some of your other friends disavow it. But that's an example, right, of like you're slut shaming her, you know, like.
I'd have to look into all this more before I make a judgment call.
Yeah, and for context, this is a chick who had just called me a racist.
I know, and we can open that up here. I have it open.
I mean, this is an objectively nasty thing to say about somebody, but I mean, so is calling somebody a racist. So
I rest my case. As for the second tweet, this was totally misconstrued as well. The evidence cited about Dennis being Brazilian is based off an IMDb page. This is the equivalent of a YouTube birther movement, the way that people are scrutinizing where Deaf Noodles is coming from. Dennis and his family actually come from Brazil. He has no roots in the United States, and his supposed rich father won a trip to the United States in a contest. He finished his degree there in just 1 year, and luckily, that was the year Dennis is born. Deaf Noodles is from New Jersey, yes, but he was only there for 2 months. This context completely invalidates your downright xenophobic argument to invalidate Dennis's identity. This was never a victim card, claiming that these creators are disenfranchising minority creators and Dennis telling his story are 2 separate tweets, and to scrutinize them as one coherent statement would be going against the intent that Dennis had when typing his hyperbolic tweet on his Deaf Noodles account. The DQers are as disingenuous, might I argue more so, than the person they claim to hate.
Yeah, this is so much.
Even
Holy
if these
shit.
criticisms levied to Augie were completely accurate, which they are not, your critiques levied at Augie are just that. They target Augie. These don't simply apply to me or anyone else for that matter. I'd address the edgy jokes equal flirting with fascism argument, but that's actually the next guy's job. This was a really weird backpedal tied to a guilt by association argument, and there's also one more thing you failed to consider. Dog.
I'm noticing, Mom.
The point
I'm gonna call you Mom.
is nobody fucking cares that you're Brazilian, dude. I don't even think that any of us even knew at the time that you were. You yourself realized in a conversation with Augie that most of us likely hadn't even have watched a single recent video on your channel to this point. Nobody saw Deaf Noodles and thought, damn, this Brazilian immigrant is infringing on our YouTube real estate. Get over yourself. I know. What it says in—
I didn't even know what his nationality was.
plain English in that tweet, that's apparently not what you actually meant. Feel free to hide behind your stupid catboy persona, but I simply don't believe you. I think you're bent on revenge for the smallest shit, and I think you're incredibly unhinged. I think you got mad at us for clowning you, so you tried to say that we're a bunch of racists. I think you got mad about how I kept clowning you, so you tried to smear me. I think you were mad that Kavos was clowning on you, so you promoted tweets claiming he's a homophobe. And I think you were mad at John Swan, so when his reputation was eviscerated, you piled on with some bullshit alt-right narrative. Why else do you block every single person who speaks out against you? I have no problem with blocking people. I've blocked many. However, what I do have a problem with is you going out of your way to block people correcting you for the misinformation you're spreading about me. That shows me that you're disingenuous and you're fully aware of what you're doing, despite claiming to be a satirical character every step of the way.
All of a sudden, you started being real sloppy. You started getting stories wrong. Like, it didn't fucking make sense, and it almost came across like it was agenda. And tonight, we saw it. Everybody saw it, motherfucker. Dennis. Everybody saw it, Dennis the Menace. Dude, there's some weird type of bias going on.
Let me say this outright for you just so you understand. Dennis, I don't hate you for any intrinsic qualities that you can't change. I hate you because I think you're a bitch. With that being said, I think it's high time that a certain bird made his entrance into the video. I'm sure most people expected him to come at some point, so without further ado, I give you
Ah, yes, another bird in the picture. Let's see how long this one lasts. When it comes to clean editing, clean visuals, and even a clean avatar, might as well be the yin to the yang.
This interview might... No shit.
Except I'm not nearly as problematic. That's probably due to the scale of my audience. Give it up for them. But hello, I'm Dr. Skipper, and I'll skip some of the theatrics and get right into it. That wasn't funny.
So, Deaf Noodles, who we love again.
Comedy is a form of entertainment that's appreciated by almost anyone, from professional comedians who do stand-up to funny Taco Bell sound effects. Comedy is an art form on the basis of delivery, material, and timing, but comedy being perceived as funny is completely subjective. Like this. Bruh. I had no comedic timing, structure, or punch. It was just a bruh sound effect, and some of you might have found that funny. And some of you might want to leave this video and bash your brains on the concrete floor. But given this is a video about Dennis and I just explained what comedy is, you could definitely see where I'm going. Vulture made a published article titled Deaf Noodles is Testing the Limits of YouTube Satire. The article dives into how Deaf Noodles makes news, quote-unquote news, and how he perceives comedy. He also gives his stance on the criticism of his satirical character. I'm gonna assume you've definitely heard points about Deaf Noodles and how he misuses the word satire from multiple other videos.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like a great dude, but let's keep it real. He's doing something right for everyone to talk about him.
Videos, if not this one. And not to even intentionally plug, but I made a video discussing this in more depth if you want to watch it. After this video, of course, I don't want to hijack the boat with my 3 cotton balls and duct tape of a viewer base. But I want to go more in depth about comedy, more specifically Deaf Noodles' takes on comedy and how some of the viewers just simply don't get it.
Stay safe.
Or how he decides what the structure of comedy should be. I don't want my portion of this video to be a snooze fest, but I have to read out this.
Was he playing Left 4 Dead 2 with Teletubbies? Yes, he was playing Left 4 Dead 2 with Teletubbies.
Statement in order for you to have more context. I feel like there's an idea on the internet of what comedy is, but I don't feel like a lot of people really know what comedy is like. A lot of people who have the strongest opinions about comedy haven't been in a comedy club maybe ever in their lives. There are a few commentators who like to say that comedy is dead and this and that, and you look at what they think is comedy. And to them, saying racial slurs and using the Confederate flag, I'm like, how's that a punchline? You try to have a conversation with one of them and it's like, well, you're not edgy. I don't see what's edgy about it. Like, Louis C.K. is edgy, but at the end of the day, there's a format to what he's doing. He's got a point of view. That's his voice. He's not just going on stage doing a bunch of racial slurs. So when there isn't an understanding of what comedy is and there isn't an investment in learning it, then it just becomes a wasteful conversation almost. That's why I stopped really trying to explain it to people. Aha, you finally made the conclusion. The reason I had mentioned comedy being subjective earlier is that so it could be relevant to the points I'm gonna make now. If you match the dots like a teenager's forehead, you could come to the conclusion that Dennis is someone who's inspired by late night talk show hosts.
Are you familiar with a soup?
No.
Are you familiar with a Colbert Report?
No.
While Colbert's political commentary might make you LOL and spit out your coffee, it's ridiculous to set a moral compass around humor in relations to that style. Yes, Trevor Noah is technically a comedian, but when you put Trevor Noah and Stephen Colbert next to Eddie Murphy, Bill Burr, and Dave Chappelle, you could see a huge contrast in their comedic styles. Edge, edginess, whatever the hell you want to call it, goes into a tunnel called dark.
That's very true.
Dark humor. And with dark humor comes dark comedy. Being an 18-year-old who grew up on the internet, I've definitely dabbled in aspects of dark humor. And in the modern landscape of comedy, dark humor has been a huge taboo. But like I said earlier, humor is subjective, but comedy isn't. If you go up on stage and start yelling the N-word with no context, I might find it funny because of the shock value, but after 4 seconds of being 5, I'll snap back into reality and realize that actually wasn't really funny at all. But nonetheless, it's still comedy. It's just executed terribly. If you're fat and end up last in a race, you're still a runner. If you make videos on an iPhone and upload it to your YouTube channel, you're still a YouTuber. And if you make bad jokes, racist jokes, edgy jokes, or unfunny jokes, you're still a comedian. Comedy often takes trauma or dark subjects and takes off the weight. Pete Davidson is a comedian whose father passed away on 9/11, and he uses that trauma in multiple comedy acts. Same applies with racism. Racist jokes are not funny. I get a lot of comments about how calling out comedians for their racist jokes will end comedy. It won't. When someone says that calling out comedians for racist jokes will end comedy, that means that the person thinks the only funny thing is racism. Jokes have a very simple structure: setup and punchline.
I don't know, because I'm sure they're owned by like big beefy studios that would crush shit down.
Setup creates expectation, punchline subverts it. That means anything could be funny if you use the structure correctly. Comedians who use racism as punchline to appeal to shock to make up for inability to craft a funny joke. Jesus Christ, Dennis, what's that grammar? Calling out comedians for making racist jokes is basically comedy self-auditing. An essential part of comedy is calling out unusual behavior. And unless we want to normalize racism, we have to continue calling out racism when comedians use it in bits. Comedians who get called out for racist jokes could always go back and improve their jokes. Any comedian who says, "I don't apologize for jokes," is implying their jokes are perfect. Do those comedians really think their words are so holy they cannot be touched? I've always thought the argument that calling out comedians for doing racist or offensive jokes will end comedy was a logical fallacy. Hope this helps anyone trying to help that friend understand that criticism can't kill comedy, because comedy is basically indirect criticism. Alright, there's a lot wrong with this. Within the thread, Dennis strawmans multiple times, but that's expected from the almighty Def Noodles. When somebody says calling out comedians for racist jokes will end comedy, that means the person...
Let me put my... So my air conditioner is blowing right on my nipple. I have lost my chat. How have I lost my chat? What am I doing?
Thinks that the only funny thing is racism.
Yeah,
Jesus, Dennis, wise words. He then states how jokes all follow a structure and that racism is just injected for shock value. So not only did he strawman how people perceive comedy, he's also attempting to tell people how comedy works and how it's structured. Racist jokes are a part of comedy, Dennis. They can be well crafted and funny. And the reason people defend racist and dark humor isn't because the ideology of bigotry, but it's more in favor of defending the freedom of expression, to make jokes on stereotypes. And yes, while calling out comedians for their racist jokes and demanding accountability won't kill comedy, it could still disencourage certain comedians to express themselves, causing them to limit their acts and jokes. Walking on
When did he interview Jesse Ventura? That's actually very interesting.
eggshells and pondering the reaction of every decision is a creative limitation, and it just shouldn't be necessary. You know, because it's comedy. They're jokes. The field where confidence and the ability to bounce back if a joke doesn't land determines if you succeed or fail. I know you might think you're the funniest person in the world, Dennis, but out of every person on planet Earth, why should anyone follow your perspective of formulaic comedy? If we're
Is that Nicholas eating behind him?
going off your stand-ups directly, I would even advise people to stay the hell away from your advice.
I just took a DNA test. I'm 100% that bitch.
He claims comedians use racism because they can't craft a funny joke. I mean, of course this is egotistical, but who really cares? Dennis's ego is equivalent to a paper house made of sticks. But it's just also not true at all. There's so many good stand-up acts that have racist stereotypes or scenarios. But since Dennis isn't a good comedian, he wouldn't know this. A joke is usually weaved all the way through so it builds to the punchline, making it crafted comedy. You can make jokes about dark topics and have them be executed perfectly. And even though it might be insensitive and taboo, you could still accept that it was a good joke. How many cops does it take to screw in a light bulb? None, they just beat up the room for being black. This is a joke about police brutality, and if I wanted to, I could blow smoke and make a huge deal. Or I could just say, ah, that was witty and clever. Have a nice day. Because it's a joke, it's just not that deep. Also, Dennis, comedians don't value themselves as gods and think their jokes are perfect because they don't apologize for being offended. That's just a ridiculous straw man. They just have confidence and understand the context of what they said was a joke in the moment. And since they have their own character or morals, they don't have to whine and ponder on the internet about it like you. Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr. I'm sorry to say it, but comedy genius Def Noodles is gonna need you guys to stop using racism in your humor.
Okay. Thank you, Donald Trump's tremendous six-pack.
You're encouraging it. I know Dave Chappelle literally disrupted one of his acts to educate the audience about Emmett Till, but you're spreading so much hate by making jokes about racism. Concluding the conversation, humor is humor. Everyone's
Guy's confusing. So much lore.
It's free to be a critic and dislike certain jokes or styles, but attempting to set standards and limitations is just ridiculous. And on top of that, strawmanning people who disagree is just pretentious and moronic. Thank you for giving me a sliver of your time. If this was the equivalent of scraping fingernails on a chalkboard, then please cheer. You'll be liberated quickly. Thanks, Nick, for inviting me on this. I'm Dr. Skipper, and I'll see you soon.
Please subscribe to Dr. Skipper. He makes some of the best content for a channel his size and covers a variety of topics that I personally have enjoyed. If you like the kind of content that I upload on this channel, odds are you'd probably like what you'd find on his channel. With that being said, I think the best way to end this off is to remind everyone how exactly we got here.
Hey guys, today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm just going to have a conversation with you guys because...
Didn't Def Noodles leave the internet for a while? If so, why?
Especially after yesterday's video, I got a lot of feedback. The fact that I take myself so seriously as a journalist in this context, the way I present things is so serious. That's what's supposed to be the satire. Like,
but
I said I answered
a lot
you before
of people
flashback.
Really know
it does
what comedy is. Like, a lot of the people who have the strongest opinions about comedy haven't been in a comedy club in like maybe ever in their lives. You know, like
I've performed in basically every major theater and venue a comedy venue in New York and in LA. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you guys. I've just been kind of sad over the past few days, ever since that whole thing with Kavos, where he basically tore my channel apart. I appreciate all the positive feedback I got from all.
Jesus, how are you gonna get so sad over one person tearing your channel apart?
Of you, a lot of you left some really kind comments.
He's actually acting how the quartering wishes I was acting because of him.
I posted this Rodney Dangerfield quote, and it got completely taken out of context. And I posted it like knowing that I would get a reaction, but I wanted to see how many people would get it, how many people wouldn't. And it was just interesting to see that like my most loyal followers were like responding with gifs of Dangerfield. So like the majority of my followers get it.
Yeah, Def Noodles, I can tell you firsthand, if you have to explain where something comes from, you blew it.
The people who are there just to like, I guess, for like other reasons, they were confused. So I don't think you're a fascist. I think that you play around with fascist ideas.
I don't find myself to be a douchebag. I don't know what in my video caused you to think that I'm a douchebag. Everything he said has kind of been cycling in my head, and I've been thinking about it and thinking of new ways that I can improve my channel. I honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly, Fireblade.
Know immediately what I'm gonna do, but I've been trying out different things here and there. That's why I tried to react differently.
I have a life, so contrary to what it seems, there are a few commentators who like say that comedy is dead and this and that, and you look at what they think is comedy, and to them it's just saying racial slurs and using the Confederate flag, and I'm like, this is something that people can't help being. They're gay. That's who they are, and that's the whole point.
I'm not referencing gay people
I hear you.
I'm gonna be just using it as a placeholder for stupid.
Well, exactly. So
well, that's why I kind of liked Tim and Eric, because that's what they do purposely. You know,
calling gay people stupid.
I definitely think that I'm learning a lot about myself and about the world as I react to each one of these videos.
Are you familiar with a soup?
No.
Are you familiar with a Colbert?
Like, they realize things that are like public access. They make fun of that all the time, and they emulate the unfunniness of it so perfectly that it's hilarious. That's what Steve Brule is.
No.
Are you familiar with Dan Savage?
Explain.
Like what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of breaking the fourth wall a little bit, because I could have just not said anything, just kept it shut, and people could have, maybe eventually they would have realized
creamed
it.
Horse meat, yeah.
That's like I'm playing a character. That's how I see it. That is, first off, I think it's important to clarify that nowhere in this tweet does it say you're racist. It says disenfranchise minority creators. It says makes jokes that...
If you're disenfranchising minority creators, wouldn't that be a racist act?
What I will say is that Def Noodles should probably remain a journalist, and I base that off the fact that he's just as slimy as every other fucking one I've met.
I've been Turkey Tom. Thanks for watching, and until next time...
Oh, you touch my tra-la-la.
What the fuck is that?
Leave me alone.
All right. I'll be back for a sequel of this. I'm going to go eat dinner. I still now I understand. I never thought I'd watch a 50. No, Nicholas Diorio is awesome. He did an excellent job here. But now I'm just more fucking confused on this guy than I was going into this. Christ help me. I have to go do an interview on him tomorrow. Yes, I'm going to the food court to eat dinner. I'll be yelling that the quartering is a pussy in like 20 minutes. Anyway, I'll be back in a bit. I'll see you in a bit. Relax your anuses. I'll see you soon. Thank you for the support again, too. I really appreciate it. Soon. I'll see you soon. Jesus Christ, I can't talk today.